Hey guys, welcome back. This is Bernard from the BTNHD, and yes, Lenovo's Legion lineup for this year's gamescom event, which is awesome. So let's get started. Okay, so first thing first, Lenovo has released 3 monster PC towers for us gamers in 3 tiers: easy, medium, and hard. Depending on your entry point in the gaming world, if you're starting off, most likely you want to go inside the easy. If you are a professional individual that knows the mechanics of playing games, but you don't have a huge budget, most likely you want to get into the medium tier. But if you have that money and you want to spend and you want the highest frames per second and you want to have that edge when you're playing games online with friends or just competing, most likely you want to get into the hard tier. Now, the 3 that they're going to be introducing is the Y520, the 720, and the Y920. Awesome, right? The 520 is the easy one. The medium one is going to be the 720, and the hard tier is going to be the best performance. The one that I like a lot is the 920. So let's check out some of the specifications on all 3 of the PC towers. Now, the first one is the Y520. It's going to actually come with a 7th generation Intel processor. The i7 processor is going to be a 7700 processor. The i5 is going to be a 7400 series, and the i3 is going to be a 7100 series. It's going to come with Windows 10 Home. Plus, for the graphics cards, you have 3 choices. You could actually get it equipped with a GTX 1060 3 gigs, a GTX 1050 Ti, and also if you into AMD, you could actually get the Radeon RX 560. The max capacity of memory is 16 gigs, but from my understanding with the 7th generation 7700, you can actually max it out to 64 gigs. It really depends on the motherboard that Lenovo is providing with these towers. Now for storage, you can get it up to 128 gig solid state drive and a 2 TB SATA hard drive. It does come with Windows Mixed Reality, which is a great thing because Windows is pushing that out pretty soon. Now for the medium tier, that's the Y720. Now, it does come with a 7th generation Intel processor, and the i7 again is a 7700 series processor, and the i5 is a 7400. It does come with Windows 10 Home Edition, just like the 520. And the graphics card, they actually gave you an additional one. You could get it equipped with a GTX 1070 8 gigs, a GTX 1060 6 gigs, a GTX 1050 Ti, and for the Radeon RX, you could get the 570 8 gigs. Again, you could get it up to 64 gigs of memory. And for storage, you could get it up to 512 solid state drive and 2 TB of SATA hard drive. And again, this guy is equipped with Windows Mixed Reality Ready. All 3 of these PC towers are basically Mixed Reality Ready with Windows 10, which is great. Now, last but not least, the one that I like a lot and is the Y920. This one comes with only 2 processors. Well, you can only get it equipped with 2 processors. And it's the 7th generation 7700K series and also the i5 7600K series, which is awesome. Now, you can actually get Windows 10 Home Edition or Professional. For graphics, they give you the option to bump it up to 1080 8 gigs, 1070 8 gigs, 1060 6 gigs, and the RX 480 8 gigs. Now, again, the memory size, you can get up to 64 gigs. And for the storage, it's actually configured to the way that I like it. It gives you 2 512 solid state drives and it's configured as a RAID 0. And you're also getting a 4 TB SATA hard drive for raw storage. Now, this particular Y20 actually comes with a Thunderbolt 3 USB-C. Awesome. Now, let's take a closer look on all 3 models. First things first, the front view. Now, this is the 520, which is nicely designed. If we look at the Y720 and the Y920 look the same, but it's just a slight difference. And I think it's just that little red outline that it has, because on the 920 right here, it has the green. But if you take a closer look on the 520, you got that nice little mesh design that looks like a transformer. It looks like a Decepticon in the front. This right here is the 720, a closer look. And again, this is the Y920. The difference between the 720 and the 920, same box and same boxy feeling, but it's just that outline that the 720 has that the 920 doesn't have. Now the fans. I'm kind of disappointed that the 720 and the 920 doesn't have this feature, but the 520 does have LED fan, which is cool. The 720 has 2 dual ones, but it doesn't have LED, which is okay. On the 920, you have that filter system The 720 doesn't have the filter system, but the 920 does have that filter screen on it and the dual fans, but no LED. Now for the right side view, this is the 520, very plain, very solid. And on the 720, you got that nice little mesh system mechanism that allows you to have more airflow to it. And I love the 920 because it gives you that see-through to see everything inside your tower. And it still has that nice little mesh with the holes to give you more ventilation. Cool. On the left side, pretty plain on the 520 as well as the 720. And on the 920 is the same thing as the 720. The only difference is, you know, that green lighting and that red outline on the 720. Now the inside, on the inside of the 520, this is how it looks. Actually, the 520 is actually running a GTX 1060. And this is the 720 on the inside, which is pretty cool. Really nice, compact. Looks like you have a lot of room to customize it. It looks like the power supply is a little different from the 520 to the 720, so that means the 720 has a bigger and better power supply. And this is actually the 920, okay? So the rear view, this is the 520. On the rear view, I think all three of these models don't come with a VGA port at all, so definitely you're going to be taking advantage of the graphics card. This one doesn't come with a PS2 port, but it does come with an HDMI, and it looks like it only gives you maybe 2 3.0 USB ports in the back and 2 USB ports, and you got your Ethernet, and you have a basic audio system in the back. On the 720, you got a lot more. It looks like we have 2.0 USB ports, a PC2 port, which is old school, HDMI, we have 4 3.0 USB ports, we have our Ethernet, and we have a whole audio system right there, which is awesome. And then we have our graphics card. On the 920, one of the things I like about it is just all black. Love that color. Again, you have additional 2 2.0 USB ports with the PS2 port, an HDMI port, and it looks like it's probably a 3.1 USB port. You got 4 of them, and again, just like the 720, you have the audio features to enhance your speaker system. On the bottom view, yes, the bottom view, all 3 of them have a different bottom view. On the 520 is pretty plain. On the 720, it looks like you got that nice little filter system, which I really like. Just got to make sure you clean it out. On the 920 and the 720, you still have the same feature with the screen, you know, the filter screen, but the only difference is that red little line, which is really weird. This is the 720 and this is the 920. The only difference between them is just that red outline on the 720, and the 920 doesn't have that. Now for the top view, loving the top view on the 520. It has that nice little diamond cut view, but if you're looking close right here, it looks like the power button is right in the middle. You have your headphone and your mic jack, and you have 2 additional 3.0 USB ports. On the 720, you got a crap load of ports on the front. You have a card reader. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like 2 3.0 USB ports and 2 additional 2.0 USB ports. And I think 2 of them, or 1 of them, is always on for charging. You have your headphone, and then you have your mic, and the power button is right on top. I'm loving the design. It looks like a Decepticon kind of face, or like a faceplate, which is awesome. And for the 920, which is awesome, it's same design as the 720, same layout, but the only difference is you don't get the card reader. You get an additional HDMI port. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 3.0 USB ports, and 1 of them is always on. And then this is the cool part. This is where you get the Thunderbolt 3 port. You would think it would be in the back of it, but it's not. It's in the front. And then you have your combo jack, which allows you to hook up your headphone/mic system in 1 port. Right? You still got that whole Decepticon look on the 920, just like the 720. The only difference is that the 720 is kind of highlighted with red, and the 920, you got it's all black. I'm assuming, looking real close to this picture right now, it looks like the 920, the top of it looks like it might glow because that Y looks like it's LED. I could be wrong. The pricing and availability. Now, the Lenovo Y920, which is the one that I want so bad, comes with a Corsair Vengeance LPX overclockable memory. Holy moly. And starting price is about $2,000 and is going to be available October 2017. I think all three of these models are going to be available around October 2017, which is great. The 720 retail price is going to be $1,000, and that's not really maxing out with the i7 processor, maxing out the storage, maxing out the memory, and getting the best GPU. This is just the starting, so I'm assuming $1,000 will get you the i5 processor, will get you a low-end GTX 1060 GPU, right? And last but not least is the 520. This one's going to start you off with $900. Again, this is like the entry level one. The 520 is for those individuals that are trying to get into the gaming world, but still want room in the future to expand. The 520 is the way to go. The 720 is, you know the mechanics, you know how to play the game, you want a little edge in your gaming system. This is where you want to go. If you have the budget, you have the money, you want to have that cut edge when you're playing games online, 24/7, definitely get the 920. I would definitely get the 920 if I had the money for $2,000. And that's the base, $2,000 is the base one. I'm assuming you get the i5, 16 gigs of memory. You could probably get maybe the GTX 1060 for the $2,000. So I'm just assuming all this. And that's it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this quick overview of what Lenovo has announced at Gamescom this year. A lot of good things are happening for the gaming world with Lenovo. I'm super excited. Hopefully I can get some of these guys inside the lab to test out for you guys. And catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.